Last year, Tata's most successful volumes product, the Nexon, underwent a major facelift almost 6 years after it came to the market. And that 6 year leap has been significant for the car, lifting it back into the contemporary sub 4 meter SUV fight. But has Tata done enough for the Nexon to keep it relevant? That's what we're going to find out today by telling you 5 things that we like about the Tata Nexon facelift and 2 things that we think Tata should work on with this car.
In this top spec Fearless Plus S trim, you get features like dual digital displays, 360-degree camera with blind spot monitors, ventilated front seats, climate control system with rear AC vents, height adjustment for the driver's seat, and a JBL surround sound system. In fact, as compared to the Sonnet and Venue, which are currently the most loaded cars in the segment, the Nexon is only missing level 1 ADAS. On the safety front, this top spec model gets 6 airbags, ABS with EBD, traction control program, and dual blind spot monitors. The Nexon is also a 5-star rated car in the latest round of G NCAP crash tests.
Given how long the pre-facelift Nexon had been around, 6 years almost, Tata's had to make a big leap in terms of what it could upgrade for this car to make it relevant in the segment again, and it has done a pretty good job on paper at least. With this, updated Nexon, you get things like dual digital displays, climate control with rear vents, wireless charging, 360-degree camera, LED light package, ventilated front seats, power mirrors and power windows, electrically operated sunroof, and a JBL surround sound system. These are all significant things that really give value addition to the car. And let's put it this way, you're paying what, almost 15 16 lakh rupees for this car depending on where you buy it in India. And if you're willing to spend that kind of money on the vehicle, you either have a significantly high budget or you've reached this part of the market where you really want your money's worth in terms of features. And Tata has actually done a pretty good job in upgrading the features for this Nexon.
As has always been the case, the Nexon's ride has been on the firmer side, but it is nothing that makes the experience uncomfortable or difficult to deal with in the long run. It is busy and lacks some of the suppleness that one would expect from a vehicle in this category. However, there's a manner in which it sails over big potholes and massive speed breakers that allows you to keep your pace constant even when the going gets rough. Being on the firmer side, you would expect some kickback on the steering wheel if you hit a bump hard, but that's pretty well controlled here, and you get a decent idea of what's below you or in front of you. The Nexon is a surprisingly engaging car to drive. The firm ride and high ground clearance gives you confidence to move quickly, while the steering is responsive and decently accurate enough to keep you engaged. In fact, going fast is enabled by the fact that the ride is busy and keeps you on your toes. The car's quirky styling has this odd characteristic of masking the vehicle's size, giving you the impression of it shrinking around you. This, despite the poor rear visibility, gives you the confidence to weave your way in traffic or punch out on the highway when required. Despite the high stance and big wheels, it is great fun in the corners with predictable behavior when you push it, as evidenced by our track experience of the Petrol manual in 2021. The brakes are progressive but lack initial bite, and you are better off trail braking than going in hard and attempting to shave off speed. Finally, as a part of the driving experience, you get 3 driving modes, Eco, City and Sport, with a sizable difference in throttle responses when comparing Eco to Sport. The latter being the full fat mode where you can unleash all 170 Nm of torque through the front wheels. Tata is one of those that have a huge price range when it comes to its cars and was one of the first to do so in the market. It offers, wait for it, 99 variants for the ICE-powered Nexon. Prices start at Rs 8.15 lakh and top out at Rs 15.80 lakh ex-showroom across the petrol and diesel range, both in terms of 2-pedal and 3-pedal options. Tata also showcased a CNG-compatible variant at the recent Bharat Mobility Expo, and this is expected to be launched later this year, probably adding to the existing 99 variants. Officially, Tata claims a mileage of 17 kmpl. In our real-world test, we got 9.10 kmpl in city conditions with an MID indicated 11.25 kmpl, while out on the highway, we got 16.6 kmpl with an MID indicated 18.2 kmpl. This gives us an average of 10.83 kmpl, and with a tank capacity of 44 liters, we get a tank to tank range of 476 kilometers.
Now, while Tata has ramped up its game in terms of ride quality, driving experience, and the feature list, its game in terms of fit finish, ergonomics, and quality in certain places still leaves a lot to be desired. And we'll give you a few small examples here and there. The first one is this USB port that's down here, and this is something that has carried on with the Nexon right from the beginning. The USB port is placed oddly, which means that if you want to charge something, the wire extends out from the back to this cooling pad here for the wireless uh, charger, where you'd keep something to rest. If you want to charge a relatively large smart device like a maybe a 6-inch display, you'd have no place to put it, and the wire would dangle out the side or would have to hang off the side, which is not an issue in this automatic version, but in the manual, especially when you're going for second or fourth gear, it is going to be problematic. The other is, of course, the placing of the handbrake. Firstly, it's odd that Tata has decided to continue with the manual handbrake, given that the Nexon EV itself has an electronic parking brake. It would have saved a lot of space on the center console and probably added another storage section altogether. Carrying on with the theme of looking at the Tata Nexon's ergonomics and practicality, we are here in the second row, and let me point out a few things here. One is it's more or less a space for two people. You do get some space in the middle, but you can see that the material here is different, and you get a center armrest also, which means that your center occupant will sit a little higher and will also have to contend with the AC vents that protrude out significantly into leg space. Then there's also the fact that you have a transmission tunnel, which makes things just a little bit more tighter. Now, in terms of practicality, you actually get bottle holders in both the doors and space to store some documents. There are no seat back pockets, but I think the side space should be more than sufficient. Shoulder room, not an issue. Knee room, also not an issue, with the seat adjusted to my driving position. However, headroom is, I wouldn't say problematic. It's down to the way that the car is designed. Now, Tata wants to achieve or wanted to achieve a coupe SUV design of sorts, and it looks really nice on the outside and gives the car a unique look. But what you get is a curved roofline, which means that it's pretty tight here, even though Tata's managed to scoop out some of the back. And what's more, because you have a tight roofline like this that kind of protrudes out in this odd manner, rear's visibility is not all that great, especially when you're looking from the IRVM.
When you say the term dual clutch automatic, the first impression you get is zippiness with easy to access performance. We were expecting a bit of fireworks from Tata's first ever turbo petrol DCT equipped car, but out in the real world, the Nexon feels a tad bit underwhelming to drive. Of course, it doesn't feel sluggish or underpowered, but at the same time, it lacks the snappiness or the immediacy of a DCT, an outright punch of a turbo petrol engine, and the throttle response is also more subdued than we had imagined. Don't get us wrong, combined with its ability to ride over anything and a decent real world mileage figure, this car makes for a good mile muncher if you go for cruising ability rather than outright performance, something that Tatas have done very well for a long time. To be honest, it feels more reactive in sport mode, but in city mode it is a bit dull. And let's face it, it's city mode wherein the Nexon will be driven in most of the time.
Let's quickly sum up our findings of the Tata Nexon facelift in this ICE guys, both petrol, diesel, whatever you're looking at. Now, as a car to drive, it's great fun. It rides beautifully, has a great number of features, especially for a car being in the segment at this moment. And there are 99 trims in an 8 lakh rupee price bracket. Yes, you get a step up in every trim that you make a jump, which means that you're getting value addition every time you add price onto this. And that's not counting that there's also going to be a CNG version, which means that you're going to go over 100 trims in an 8.5 lakh rupee price bracket. And that means, again, you get choice every step you go to. And with the CNG, you get Tata's twin cylinder tech, which means that you're not going to have a significant loss of boot space either.
The mileage is pretty decent considering the size and weight of the vehicle, and it might have a DCT but lacks some of the immediate punch offered by its Korean and European counterparts. Nonetheless, it does have good mile munching abilities.
On the flip side, it's not very effective ergonomically, and some of the practicality options that Tata offers with this car leaves a lot to be desired. Before we sign off, here's a little reminder. Are you enjoying the content on our channel? Then do hit those like, share and subscribe buttons, and also that bell icon to be notified the instant we put out a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.